Hello everyone, I am Turnman and this is a video instruction guide for the ToyWorld TW06 Devil Star, also known as Evila Star. I've decided to make this video because the instructions provided with the toy aren't very clear in very important parts of the transformation. I hope this video clears things up and helps you in understanding how to transform the toy with no problems. First, we'll start with transformation from train mode to spaceship mode. You can see everything looks pretty well on train mode, very sturdy, nothing flops around. Okay, first step is to push these side panels in like this. Next, we pull this part up like so. We unpack the front section of the locomotive, turn it up, and then pull this piece here, and now we can rotate. Push back in. Here we have the thrusters. As you can see, very detailed. They are spring loaded. You could lock them down, but sometimes they get stuck, so I prefer to leave them like this. Since they're pretty spring loaded, you can just turn them and it won't affect anything. We now unpack the wheel, the last one. Let's go, put it up so it doesn't get in our way. We'll start unfolding the wings, and here's a tricky part. Step number 9 doesn't go into much detail, but it's very important because you turn this piece around so that the wings sit lower. But to do so, we'll skip. We go to step number 10, folding the back wheels. See the spec here, goes inside one of the holes, like so, and we push the wheels inside. So, to move the wings, first we take the flaps down, like so, fold these parts up and away, and like this we unpack the thruster section, and see the spec holes over here. Okay, these hold the front section of the shuttle. We open them up, and now we can reach this assembly here. We'll lift off the wings, but first we rotate like this. You see this is a flat area. Same here. See, this is the train detail, and when we turn it around, we get a flat surface. A flat surface that pushes the wings down. Now we close this frontal section again. To fold these two little sections here, they're important to fold. We'll get back into that later. Okay, press in until we have everything locked together, and we close this section again. Okay, we lock everything like before. The flaps on the sides to the legs. We'll lift this here, and these flaps over here like this also, so that they don't get in our way. Now, as you can see, we now have more space in this section. Now this flap with the wheel will fold in that space, so it sits next to the body of the shuttle. Now we open these flaps here. Here's the up section of the robot mode, but we'll open that so we can reach this piece here. We'll use this little tool to open the little flap, and we can now reach the tail fin. Here's a trick I use. I open the back section here, and with the tool I push on the tail fin. This will push it so you can grab it. The tail fin is on a rail system. You pull it up and then you go to the side. We open the thruster section again, and we can now lock the tail fin to the back section of the shuttle. Now, this piece here will just push down, close the gap, and we can now close the upper section of the shuttle. Okay, now everything is starting to look more like a spaceship. Next, we'll push the wings in their correct position. To do so, we just pull it up, following the pin, and lock it on this part here. Same on the other side. Since the wing is sitting lower, when we push the wing up, we can reach this piece here. If we didn't, it would go here and the wings would flop. As you can see, they don't flop now that they are correctly pegged in their place. Okay, we clean these pieces here and here, and we now rotate the frontal section of the shuttle. Push down and rotate. See, this piece here would hit the hip area if we hadn't turned the wing part. Now the upper thighs have to be positioned like this, with the holes facing out, so we can peg the flaps. You can see there the joint, it's the other way around. We'll get back to that later. For now, we just lock the flaps, and we'll start transforming the frontal section of the shuttle. So we're going to split the section in two and start folding the back and roof of the driver cabin like this. Okay, this is another tricky part. This area is supposed to open and rotate, but as you can see, I'm having trouble moving. It's because this part here, this piece of the landing gear, gets in the way. So what I do is rotate this, take it down, and now I can perfectly rotate the piece. See? Because there's nothing blocking. If the landing gear was like this, it would block the rotation because of the wheel. Since we push it down, we can rotate and lock the piece in its place without the fear of breaking or forcing the piece. Same on the other side, rotate, and we move to step number 20. We can now form the nose section of the shuttle. We do it on both sides, lock everything in place, like so, and we are going to rotate the pieces. To do so, we move the flaps down and rotate each half of the frontal nose cone As you can see, the upper part is completely done. We just have to peg the last panels in and pull everything together. The side panels go in the holes on the thighs. The bay doors go in their place. Here we'll move down these parts of the train. We're going to have a hard time pegging everything together, so before we start, make sure everything's lined up. Pull down the black pieces here and here. We want to have all the panels from the sides completely in their place before we start putting the nose cone together. Put these side pieces in their place. Lock what was once the ceiling of the train. And once all the panels are locked, we start pushing them together, like so. Now we move to the landing gear, the lower part, and finally here you'll have to use some force, like so. Same with the cockpit. Now we flip this down. We already have the landing gear out, and here we have the spaceship mode. Now from the underside we're going to reach the tips of the wings. We fold them out and peg them here on this hole. See the pin? It goes inside this side panel, like so. Same with the other wing. Flip the tip out and push it in its place. Now see this peg hole here? That's where the wingtip pegs. You really don't need it, it's held by friction, but for some reason they decided to make it for that piece and not for this gray bar. It would be a great use for it. Pull down the back landing gears and we're done. Here we have the shuttle mode. Now we'll do spaceship mode to robot mode. The instructions say you can put the rifles on the sides of the shuttle mode, but as you can see, they fall off. There isn't any friction inside the peg holes to hold the guns in place. So we'll close this and put the rifles aside and start with transformation. First we'll pull away the parts that form the boiler of the train. We'll lift this part here and then fold back the black pieces, like so. This will peg onto this part. I'll try to show you better. See, here are the holes, there's the peg. For one side we peg it like this, and then we unfold the other part of the boiler, pull it back and peg it in place. Now nothing moves. Let's get started flipping the panels from the sides. We flip the purple ones up, like so, and this flap here will move forward. It's a double hinge panel, so make sure you completely turn it up So it sits like this. Now the bay doors are going to pop up, and we're going to peg them to these orange transparent pieces over here. We'll fold them down so they don't get in our way for now. Here's the look from the side. You fold them in and leave them like that so they don't get in our way. Now, remember I told you these parts here and here, the upper thighs. Well, first we're going to split the legs, and now we're going to turn them around. We turn the upper part and the lower part. Same on the other leg. You can rotate the piece directly like this, and now you have knee joints facing in the correct direction. We can lock these flaps. This peg goes in there, and now it's locked. It isn't a great lock, but just enough so it doesn't move around. Now I'm going to show you a neat part. You grab both sides and split them apart. See that peg there? I just move the waist section forward, it's on a rail, and now the purple part can rotate. That way the wheel will face the back of the leg. We rotate, will be a bit tight at first. See this part? Now we align it with the peg and leave it like this. Now we'll start on the other leg. Same thing, split them apart. At first you will have a bit of a hard time. The parts are rather tight at first. So we're ready to push the leg back, like so. We'll peg in place. Now the other one, and there we have this wheel facing the back. You will see that these pieces here that hold the wheels won't get in the way of closing the legs. Aesthetically, it might look a bit weird. You could just leave them without turning the wheels. See this peg here? Now we can attach it in that hole near the cockpit. Same on the other side. Now the flaps are tight. They don't flop around when we move the legs. And we move to step number 14. We fold the peg that connected the nose cone, split the frontal part, then move to unfolding the part that forms the feet. To form the part that forms the toes. You unfold the frontal part of the foot, then you take out what would be the toes. Rotate with this flap facing forward. Now this transparent piece folds down and holds the weight of the toy. Now we'll do the other side. Split the frontal nose, rotate, take out the foot, position the flap, and pull the toes. I find that if you press here with your finger, you won't have any trouble taking the toes out. Again, transparent piece down, And here are the legs. Now we'll move to the back of the shuttle. Now we'll get the flap that covers the hole left by the tail fin. But first, remember this peg here and here, they hold the wings. We'll have to pull the wings down on the rails, open the up doors, and we can now pull away the thruster section and move the tail forward. See, just moving the tail fin makes this piece pop up. We fold it, and then following the rail system that connects the tail fin, we move it forward, and then we have to lock it lower, like so. Now it stays in place. We close the flaps here for now. Now we'll pull the thruster section down so we can reach the pegs that hold the forward part of the robot chest. Make sure this part here is folded so that you can have access to the peg here and here. Unfasten it. We pull away, and we can now open time to take out the arms and flip the head out of its housing. See this peg here? It closes the gap, and this little door here stays in place to fill the hole. Here, see? There's no need for any extra parts or parts forming there. Now, see this whole assembly here? There are many moving parts. It's a very interesting part of the transformation. What it does is collapse in a way that this whole part sits lower. I'll try to show you how it moves. Make sure these little pieces are folded in, like this. When they are out, they help close the train section. Remember when this part was like this? Well, when you turn this whole assembly around, you fold that little cover inside. Now, we pull the whole assembly down. I hope you can see it. See, there are many moving parts. There are many moving parts here. You will hear locking sounds, and as you can see, this part is sitting, if we done it correctly, much lower. See, it falls on itself, and we can now close the front of the robot body. You will see that those parts enter those gaps there. The pegs go in their place again. Okay, give me a minute. You have to line all the parts correctly. Don't want this flap to fall off. See, the wings get in our way when going to robot mode. They don't have anywhere to peg. That's the only gripe I have with the wings on this whole toy. When they're in shuttle mode, they lock perfectly. In train mode, no problems. But in robot mode, I find that something they could latch to, or I don't know, a way to keep them in place would have been great. Okay, now we have the whole body in place, head facing forward. Time to take the shoulder guards. You rotate up. Same again here. and rotate the arms so we can have the elbow joints. See that gap there? Well, you open the panel and the peg goes there on that groove. Peg it together. Same on the other side. And now you have a more stylized body shape and no more gaps. This piece allows in and out movement of the arms. We open the chest shield and now it's time for the hands. Step 27 is rather neat. We open here, this little door, extend the flap, and now on the handguard here, we'll just push it like so, and it will unpeg. So we can now grab it, turn it around. See that part there? We close the doors and position, rotate the hand. Same on the other hand, we open the flap, the door that houses the hand. We push on the handguard. This will take the rotating piece where the hand and the wrist are situated. Put everything back in its place, rotate the hand, and there we go. You can now have the option of displaying it with a eye visor. You take the piece, it's a transparent piece that pegs on the helmet, giving you another display option. Now we are to push the wings up like so. Now I do this to keep the gray bars from moving around. There's enough resistance here and here to keep them in place. You can display the wings completely up like this, but I find that they make the wings move a bit forward, so I keep them a tiny bit lower, just about like this, hey, so they don't get held by this black piece behind. And this concludes this video instruction guide for the ToyWorld TW06 Evila Star. Hope you find this video useful. The engineering on this toy is really fantastic, and watching it in action, even if you don't plan on getting it, is worth it in my opinion. If you would like more videos like this for other figures, let me know on the comment section below or subscribe. This has been Turnman. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.